we are going to make an octopus. The first one I'm going to show you is using a toilet paper roll. And what we're going to do is paint it. Pretty much anything can be a paintbrush though. This is a foam brush, but you could take a clothespin and pinch it to a ball of cotton, or you could use Q-tips, or pretty much anything. Technically, you could even use your finger. All right, so we're gonna let our first octopus dry for a second. So if your kiddo does not want to get dirty, or if you don't have any paint on hand, this is a way to go. So one way you could do it is to make kind of a partial square. It doesn't have to be super even. And then what you're going to do is draw some lines for your kiddo to cut on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this will involve some rotation as far as getting to the end point here. And I don't want to stop right here because if I turn here, I'm going to cut off that corner. So I want to go a bit past the line so that I can turn my paper and not cut the corner off. Now I've got to cut all these legs. And if your kiddo is struggling with the cutting, again, you can make less than 8 legs and make the line super thick so that it's easier for them to stay on the line. And the paper will be slightly less floppy. But make sure to encourage them to use their helper hand to keep that paper from being floppy, because if he's not holding strong, the paper is going to bend. And that makes it really hard and really frustrating to cut. Okay, so now, since this has some icky kind of lines on it, I'm going to make that my inside. So all you have to do is kind of curl them up. And you can tape him together, or you can staple him, glue stick. Again, each technique can give your child a different skill to practice. So if they need practice with using a tape dispenser, again, another bilateral task, then take that time, help them hold with one hand, pinch, pull, pull down. But you can also just take a glue stick, glue or put that there, and overlap it. Okay, so now we have our octopus. So now what I'm going to do is kind of curl and roll his legs up a little bit. Each one. So I'm going to pinch the end and just roll it up. You can also take a marker, and that might help guide your students' fingers. So, we've got our little octopus. So now what I'm going to do, and you could do this before you roll him up, or you can do it after, depending on. So I have these little reinforcer stickers. And what I want to do is put a couple on the bottom of his legs as little suction cups. Might do like 2 on each, because you're not going to see them all. Just kind of the ones that are curled up a little. If you don't have reinforcer stickers, you can also draw them on with a white crayon or chalk or pretty much anything. Again, this is our imaginary octopus. He doesn't have to be precise by any means. So now what I want to do is give him a happy little face. So I'm going to make an eye. Again, you can do this before you connect the sides, so it might be a little bit easier to make the face. And what you can do is make a circle and have your child try to color inside the lines. The bigger the circle, the easier that's going to be for them. And I'm going to give him a little nose and a smiling face. Oh, he's just adorable, isn't he? All right, and now I kind of want to decorate him a little bit. So, see how I'm only using my fingers, my arm and my wrist are not moving. This could be a good activity because they'll have to hold this and they won't be able to really move their arm very well because they have to try to color on an uneven surface. So now he's got some polka dots. I'm going to fix his eyes a little bit. I want to give him these kind of eyes. Ooh, oh, much better. And there we have Ollie the octopus. He's dried off a little bit, and I chose a dark color. But what I would do is to help your student out is to draw those lines for them. Again, doesn't matter how many. Now, you can have your student hold it and cut on those lines and stop. So this is a little bit thicker than construction paper, so that means it's less floppy, which can be a good thing, but they also might have to squeeze those scissors a little bit harder, especially over these points that are kind of overlapping. Totally help your student with this part. It's a little bit trickier because it's a tiny space that they're working with. Okay, so let's put the finishing touches on our second octopus. So I'm going to add some googly eyes for him, and this is one way I like to do glue sometimes in order to kind of cut down on the amount of glue, using a Q-tip as kind of your paintbrush. Especially on something like this where the glue might run, and it gives your student a little bit more control over it. Also helps that pinching grasp that we use for writing. And I gave him 2 different size eyes, and I'm going to draw happy little mouth and some polka dots. Again, using something besides a paintbrush as a paintbrush. And again, it helps promote that handwriting position because there's not much to hold on to, so grasps like this are a lot trickier to do. Last couple of dots. And my second octopus, Olivia, is finished. So either one, Oliver, construction paper, or Olivia, paint, can create a very cute little sea creature.